And I believe we have a caller on the line. All right, we got Greg. Go ahead, buddy.
Yes, sir. I was divorced in 2008 with a quadro, qualified domestic relation order, of roughly 22%. I've been divorced longer than I was married, and my question is, has there been any changes to the laws in Florida on how long a quadro can go?
Okay, Greg, not that I'm aware of is the short answer. And when I assume you're talking about a qualified domestic relations order, you're talking about either some type of retirement account or maybe a military retirement. And if that's the case, the 22%, the order itself is just what divides it. The order is basically how you get the money from one qualified account to another qualified account, or if it's with the military, it goes through DFAS, Department of Finance and Accounting Services, and allows the DFAS to pay the person directly as opposed to having to go through that. But the law itself would be really involved would be the divorce law, and I'm unaware of anything that's changed with that, because basically what's happened is if you've got a qualified domestic relations order, it's part of what's called equitable distribution, and that doesn't change. They don't go back and change that part of the deal. It's a done deal, and if it's either a pension or a retirement account, and then that 22% that she was given is what she's going to get more or less for life, or until the account or whatever runs out.
Greg, thanks for your question. I'm going to jump in. I just had a text message from an individual, and I told we are going to go into alimony, child support in this segment. So, Rob, the question basically is, how is child support determined? Is it out of a statute book, or is it based on the ability to pay by the parents?
Well, it's both.
Okay.
So it's determined by.
Give me the lawyer. Give me the lawyer answer on this one. Now.
I'm going to follow it up.
This is serious.
So you get, it's determined by statute. It's all part of statutes, and what happens is a child support guideline worksheet is put in, and what they do is they take your income and they plug it into a worksheet, and they take the spouse's income or the other parent's income, and they put it into a worksheet. There's a math formula that I couldn't try if I was Stephen Hawking that they've got put together that determines, based upon these two incomes, what it takes to raise however many children you have. Back before the 50-50 law, this is a lot more prevalent, but there's a regular child support, which it doesn't really involve how much time you have the children, and then there's what they call gross up method child support, which starts at 20%, which I think is either 73 or 76 days of the 365, meaning the more time you have the child or children, the more credit you get. And in that gross up method, which is pretty much what everybody's using these days because most people are getting 50-50 custody, when you do this, you get a couple different credits. There's credit for health insurance, and there's credit for child care. So if you're paying $800 a month for child care, you put that into your child support guideline worksheet to go along with regular child support, and the spouse is going to pay probably half of that, or depending on what the percentages are. That was a simplified version, but that's how it's determined. It's basically a lot of math.
Good Lord, don't give me the complex version.
Yeah, it's a lot of math, and there are plenty of calculators out there online that can do it, and I think the state of Florida even has one themselves.
But it's pretty statutorily determined, though, right? I mean, there's a formula that you have to go by versus, hey, dad makes $2 million a year, mom makes $5 million a year. Yeah. Who's paying what?
It's literally is plugging it in, and some people are, even when they made this 50-50 law, like, man, I have 50-50 custody, I'm not going to pay child support. That's not how that works. Unfortunately, or fortunately for the child, really is how it works, I guess. But I mean, if you both have 50-50 custody, but let's say dad's making 10 grand a month and mom's making 4 grand a month, mom's going to get some child support from dad.
All right. So, and I think we're about to open a Pandora's box here. How is alimony determined? Because I know there's new legislation that came out with that. Yeah. That I believe that one spouse or the other could receive lifetime alimony, but now I believe that's been clawed back, correct? Correct.
There is no more permanent alimony moving forward. My understanding, there's no retroactive part of the statute, although we're hashing that out in a couple court cases. But they've gone to, there's basically what they call durational alimony is the big one.
All right, so let's slow down. Yeah. Durational alimony, what is that?
Durational alimony is well, it's durational alimony. It's based upon a formula that they've come up with now. But basically, durational means it's from one point of time to another period of time, either 6 years, 7 years, 8 years.
So for a set amount of time.
Yeah. And the way they've determined that is different now. They've come up with a formula. They've got the marriage is broken up into 3 different sections. There's short-term, moderate, and long-term. At long-term, you used to get permanent alimony at 17 years. Now long-term starts at 20 years, and there is no permanent alimony. Moderate length starts at 10 years, and the short-term is 10 years or below.
Okay.
When you do that, though, there's also percentages that are in part of this. So if you have a short-term marriage, the most durational alimony you can receive is 50% of the length of the marriage. For moderate length, it's 60% for the length of the marriage. Okay. So in other words, if you had a 12-year marriage, you can get 7 years.
But there's a Florida statute that says what a short-term marriage,
correct,
moderate length, and then long-term. Right?
Yeah.
What is the maximum amount someone can get alimony for?
It depends on how long they're married. It's 75% of what the length of their marriage was. So if they were married for 50 years, whatever 75% of that.
If they're married for 50 years, somebody's going to die.
Well, I was going to say, you would think so, yes. But
I mean, you take 20 years. I mean, that's 75% of 20. What's that? 15 years.
Yeah. I mean, that's what the law states. And then there's another calculation you have to do. Essentially, after you go through and determine what the length of the marriage is and what percentage we're talking about here, then you go back and they're allowed to get 35% of the difference between the net incomes that are on their financial affidavits. Remember when I said discovery?
Yeah.
That's a key part of it. It's 35% of the difference of their net incomes when the financial affidavits come out. Now, what we're dealing with there, those are the maxes. So it doesn't mean that's what they're going to get for sure. It doesn't mean just because you've been married for 20 years, you're going to get 15 years alimony and you're going to get 35% of whatever he makes. They can go up to that much without
So what you're saying
law.
is, once again, if you're going to get divorced, make sure that you won't get divorced.